What is up, folks? That's right. You can see it barely. Well, when I wave my hands, you can see it. But I do have the green screen on back here, and it looks a lot better when it's not just me, because you can totally see that green when I wave like this. But check this out. What? And yeah, you can see the green. I'm not sure how to fix that, or if it's even worth bothering fixing, because I'm not really doing this very much. But yeah, it does look nice, I think. I'll do a video of my setup later. But yeah, right now I want to write or make a egghead video, and let me just show you. I just barely published this, but I won't really like tweet about it or anything till Monday, like normal. But I was just working on something and had this idea for a blog post I wanted to write, so I wrote it. Super simple start to ES modules in the browser. I've done a super simple blog post before. The super simple start to serverless. Looks like I didn't capitalize those the same, but I kind of like this idea as like, hey, you want to learn about this specific thing? Like, here's the very basic fundamentals of this thing. So you may have noticed that my blog posts recently, I've been trying to include a video recording, an egghead recording at the top. And in fact, I think I've got one for this one. So you can watch this on egghead.io, and it's totally free and great. And so I am going to make one for this, and that's what I'm going to record. That's what I'm going to show you. So yeah, here is the process I go about for recording stuff. First, I use this tool called RDM. And by the way, there's this site, howtoegghead.com. It's from Egghead, where you can go look at the instructor guide. And there's like this technical guide of all the things. And let's see. Yeah, set up your desktop, RDM, boom. So you can find all this stuff on How to Egghead. It's great. But yeah, so I use How to Egghead, and I set, I use RDM, and I set my display to 1280 by 720 because I show the entire display. I know some video authors just show like a portion of their display. I do not. I have two monitors, so I put the stuff on one monitor that I don't want people to see, and then stuff on the other that I do. And I just fill the whole space. Now, lots of the time, I'm going to be doing a full screen thing, and so I don't need to worry about like distractions or the top bar or anything like that. But this one, yeah, well, actually, I think this one I can get away with that too. But if I wasn't, then I probably would get rid of this bar by going to my preferences. You go to general, and you can auto hide the menu bar. Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's something that I sometimes do. The other thing that I do is I want to have the material that I'm going to teach all ready and done. I know exactly what the end is going to look like from the beginning, and that's basically what my blog post is going to be for me. So the next thing that I'm going to do is set up my editor. So sometimes I'm going to do this in Code Sandbox if I can manage it. I sort of like to do it in Code Sandbox just because it's so much simpler. Sometimes I don't because I like having my the regular experience that I have when I'm making or like writing code. But yeah, Code Sandbox can be nice. But this one I can't do in Code Sandbox because I'm showing how to use the fundamentals of ES modules, and Code Sandbox has like a bunch of tooling around it. So I've got to be like index HTML file. So what I'm going to do is I've got my editor already set up, and I have this file right here, or this directory, super simple ES modules, and there's actually a file that I had and I deleted it. And so actually let's reload window, so we get rid of that. And then I set up my editor so that I remove as many distractions as possible. So I'm going to go to my settings, whoops, and if I go down here to Egghead, then I'm going to comment that out. And this just updates my editor font size and a bunch of other things that I can just do really quickly. I realize that there are probably 30 extensions that I can just install that'll do this for me, but I actually really like going about things this way. So that's what I do. And then the next thing is, let's go ahead and just add a file here. Let's see, script. Yeah, see that, to me, that looks kind of small. So I think I may have gone back on something. Yeah, it just looks pretty small, right? Like that's kind of small. Let me go back in here and edit the font size. We'll bump that up. Yeah, that'll be good. Oh, right. This is the reason it looks so small, because I'm going to add the browser to this as well. So let's grab a browser window that we're going to have open for this. And typically I also have the terminal open. Okay, so now everything's starting to look more crowded. And so we'll go back to 22. That's what I normally do. So that was kind of odd for me. Okay, and sometimes I'll pop open this left nav as well. So we'll just stick with that. I'm going to go to about blank. Nope, I don't know. I just want to go to a blank page. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Who cares? People can see my new tab page. They just will always ask. And you're probably wondering too, you viewer, called palette tab. Go to palettetab.com. Or if at any time you see something that I'm using and you're like, huh, I wonder what Kent uses, kcd.im/uses will take you to my uses page, and that puts like a list of all the stuff that I use. So there's that. And I accidentally clicked on something apparently. Okay, so going back. Here we go. So I think that's good. And in fact, I'm probably going to want to have this open on the bottom. We'll open up the console, and yeah, that's just what we'll do there. Oh, I sure wish I could just get a blank page there. I thought I had like a, yeah, I did. Hold on a second. I recently changed the profile that I use for Chrome, and I guess I didn't copy over my bookmarks. I need to get that done. But yeah, there we go. Now it's just a thing. And in fact, we can just get rid of content editable. And now it's just a blank page. Boom. Okay. Cool. So now I don't have to worry about that. Data, text, HTML. Ah. All right, whatever. That's fine. I don't know how that works, but it does, and so I use it. Okay, cool. So the yeah, let's see. I think that's all that I need to do, because I want to show here. Let's make the index HTML and whatnot. So let me just review this really quick, and I'll check out some comments to see if anybody's chatting. It looks like literally nobody's chatted, or I just can't see the chat. Pop out chat. Oh, okay. Roberto. Hi, Roberto. Let me, I don't know why I couldn't see it over here, but I've got it now, so we're good. But okay, cool. So yeah, let's just review this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'll create the JavaScript file that has the code that I want to have run. And I think that I'll probably just put this in my, you know what, this is going to be a pretty short video, so I'll just type the whole thing out. You know, it probably won't be short enough. I'll copy this and I'll just paste it in. And you know what, actually even further, I'm going to, just going to have that right there as it is. So append div.js. And I just don't want that to pop open again. Why? No. Okay, let's reload window. I don't want that to show up. Why is that showing up? Oh, well. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll just have this open and say, I want to use this thing because it has an export, and I want to use that export natively. And so let's make an index HTML that uses that export natively. and then we'll serve it with npx serve, and we'll pull that up, and look, we have it in the browser. That's awesome. And then I'll show a couple things about, hey, that needs to be type module. That's important, and a couple other things. I think, yeah, notice the type module there. And then we'll say, hey, we don't want to put stuff right in our HTML. And so what I think I'll do, well, no, I'll probably leave it there, and we'll just add the HTML script or the JavaScript script. Anyway, I'll talk about how you need to have the .js, and the async script we'll have there, and we'll add the dynamic import, and then I'll demo the D3 thing. Hopefully that works. I hadn't actually tried that. I know that this URL works, but I'm pretty sure this will work. We'll just see, and you'll see what I do to deal with that situation. And that's good. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I put this on the other window here. I'm gonna go over here now, and I use this as just a reference. So I can't see you all anymore. And so if you have any comments to leave me or anything while I'm recording, I'm not going to be looking at. And Tony, you arrived a little bit late. I tried to about blank, and that didn't work, which I found kind of odd. Things have changed. Okay, so I'm not going to be looking at your comments anymore. I'm just going to be focusing on recording this video. And yeah, then we can chat about things when I'm done. And I'll probably talk about stuff as I go. That's just the way that I work. I am using ScreenFlow, so I've got my recording configured. Oh, you're not going to see that. Let me move it over here. So I've got it recording this screen, and the audio is coming from my microphone. And you can find out all my microphone stuff on kcd.im/uses. And yeah, so let me hit the record button. And I don't really worry too much about everything being set up right when I hit record, because I'm going to edit it anyway. And yeah, I think I'm ready to actually record this thing. So here we go. So I have this JavaScript file, and it's exporting this append div function, and I want to use this without compiling the export. I want to use the export natively in the browser. So to do that, I need to have an index.html that I'm going to pull up in the browser. So I'm going to make a new file, and let's just change the language to HTML. And then here I'm going to need a script tag, and inside of that script tag I'm going to want to import, and what are we importing? This append div function. So we're going to import append div from, and this is going to be relative to this file, and I'm just going to put them side by side. So we're going to say from, and that file name is appenddiv.js. So we'll say appenddiv.js. And then I want to append div, and the contents of my message here for that div is going to simply say hello from inline script. And I'll save that. We'll call this index.html, put it right next to our append div. And then I'm going to open that in my browser here. So if I go to that index.html, then I'm going to get a syntax error. It says cannot use import statement outside a module. So by default, the script tag has a type text JavaScript. And so that's how the browser interprets the contents of this script tag, is it's treating it as JavaScript, but it's treating it as a script rather than a module. And there are various ways that, okay, so this is where I messed up in the way that I'm talking, and I do this a lot. A lot. And so I back up to where I think is a reasonable place where I could continue and cut this out. And then I continue from there. And sometimes I'll go like 12 times saying the same thing over and over again. It's ridiculous. And there are various differences between scripts and modules, and one of those differences is that a module can use other modules and use module syntax, whereas a regular script cannot. So to indicate to the browser that we want it to treat this content, so to indicate to the browser that we want it to treat this text as a module of So to indicate to the browser that we want to treat this text as a module of JavaScript, we need to specify our type as module. And with that, now we refresh, and we're going to get an access to script at that file from origin null has been blocked by cores. Thank you, cores, for being awesome. Basically, what we need to do here is we actually need to serve this file on an HTTP server. So I'm going to open up my terminal here, and if you have Node installed, then you'll have npx. We're going to run npx serve, and this will start a server. Dang it. Then this happens sometimes too. So we're going to come back here, and actually I'm going to say, oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I've got a server running somewhere in one of these other windows. Yeah, there it is. So it was already taking port 5000. I don't want to worry about that. So coming back. So what I'm going to do here is we'll run, yeah, hopefully I can piece this together pretty well. I think I can. And actually, you know what? I'm going to move this just over a hair so that we get the whole thing. So if you have Node installed, then you should be able to run npx. So if you have Node installed, you should be able to run npx serve, and that will start up a server. And here it's serving on port 5000. And that actually copies to your clipboard. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that right here. And now we get hello from inline script. That's perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. And we're now actually importing a JavaScript module. So if we look at our network tab and refresh, then we're going to see first the browser requests localhost, which is just going to get the index.html served up by that serve module that we're using. And then localhost, and then our index.html is going to request this append div, and that's what the contents of that looks like. And because we're importing it, as a module, and the server's returning some JavaScript, what was the word I wanted to say after that? It's going to evaluate that JavaScript. And because we're importing it as a module and the server's returning some JavaScript, it's going to evaluate this as JavaScript, which is why we can call append div. Okay, so what's next? And I moved my mouse out of screen, which is kind of annoying that I did that, because it makes it a little harder to piece together without making it obvious that I've moved my mouse out of the screen, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Just make sure I'm covering the stuff I want to cover. Okay, yeah, here we go. I'll probably just make the cursor disappear, honestly, and I can do that right here. Boom, just move that. Now, normally we're not going to write our JavaScript inline like this. And so what I'm going to do is make a new file here, and we'll change its language to JavaScript. And we're going to import append div from appenddiv.js. I hate that. Okay. So we're going to, oh, come on, man. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, we're going to disable TypeScript. What? Cannot connect to extension. What the hell? Okay. Manage extension. Disable. Reload. Okay, cool. Now we still get autocomplete. That's good. So I'm going to import append, here we go. So I'm going to import append div from appenddiv.js, and then we'll call append div with hello from external script. We'll save that as script source.js right next to this, And then I'm going to go back to my index.html and want a new script tag, type module with the source pointing to script source as a sibling of this index.html. We'll save that, refresh here. Dang it, because I restarted the server. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the server back up. I'm going to hit the refresh, and then I'll slice it together so that it works out nicely. You'll see. It's the worst. And I got my emoji changed, but I don't think I need to show the terminal again, so it's no big deal. Here, let me, we'll just comment or save that, refresh, save that. There we go. And we'll refresh here, and now we get hello from external script. And we'll see that we get our local host that's giving us our index.html. Then we're getting our script source, which is coming right here. And the reason that's coming before our appended is because, well, actually I don't know that for sure, so I'm not going to say that. I could research it, but it's not really important for the purpose of this video, so I'm just going to leave it. And now I'm not sure where the cursor was, and so we'll just make it go away. Sort of. We'll back up a little bit. And it's working just fine. So we get our localhost that's giving us our index.html, and we get our script source that we just added here, and then our appended as well. Now, something that's really important to remember is that this URL has to be exact. It's got to point directly to the resource that's going to give us a JavaScript file. And so we can't just leave off the .js here and expect it to work. And for that same reason, we can't actually expect to leave the .js on here and expect that to work either. You'll notice that the hello from internal script, you'll notice that the hello from inline script is no longer appearing here because we're getting an error loading append div. Because what happens here is that the browser is actually making a request to append div without the .js, and our server doesn't know how to respond to that request, so it just sends a 404, and now we're not able to run the JavaScript in the append div module. And so you can't use, and so while in Node you're able to leave the .js off and Node can resolve that to the right file, in the browser you can't do that. You have to make sure that the server is going to respond with the correct file based on the path that you give it. There's another cool thing about this, and we're going to go ahead and create, oh, let's see, hold on a second. Let me just scroll down here really quick. So sometimes I don't want to move my cursor because I had it in a good place and I don't want to have any problems editing, whatever. And so I will change to my browser tab, and then I'll just move over to this browser tab and just use the keyboard to go up and down in my notes or whatever I'm using. Sometimes I don't have notes, but often I will at least have the finished version of what I'm building. And recently with the blog posts that I've been converting into videos, I'll just look at the blog post. Okay, cool. I think I've got everything that I need now. Another cool thing I want to show you is I'm going to make a new file. Another cool thing I want to show you is I'm going to make a new file, and this is going to be a language of JavaScript. And here we're going to import append div from append div.js. And we're going to make a function here. We'll just call it go. And we'll call append div hello from async script. And then we'll export go. And we'll save this as async script.js. And then I'm going to go to my script source. And inside of here, I'm going to do a dynamic import. So that I'll get my async script.js. And then I'll have my module exports object here. And I'll also have an error here. And in the event of an error, that could be that the script errored when we were trying to evaluate it, or maybe that script doesn't exist, so the server sent back a 404. In any case, there was some error loading and running the module, so I'll go ahead and add a console.error. There was an error loading the script. And then we'll just go ahead and throw that error so that it propagates up. And then in the success case, we're going to add a module. We're going to add a module exports.go. So we're going to be calling. So we're going to be calling this go function. And if we save that, then refresh here, we're going to get hello from our inline, from our external, and from our async script. And if we have some error in here, like we leave off the extension, and so our server doesn't send back anything, then we're going to get that error in our console. There was an error loading the script. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting a phone call that I need to take, and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. So I think we can just continue. I think I have a good idea of where I was. So we just got the error. We see there was an error loading the script, and we see that uncaught in promise type error failed to fetch dynamically imported module. And the reason for that was our server 404 because there is no resource at that URL. And we also get this if there's some sort of failure. And we also get the same thing if there's some sort of failure running the script. So if we say, I don't know, let's call foo. We refresh here, then we're going to get an error loading the script. In this case, foo is not defined. So in either case, whether loading the script in the first place is the problem, or there's a problem running the script, our error from our dynamic import will get run. There's one last cool thing that I want to show you here, and I'll just do it in the script source. You can actually import from any URL. So the value that's between these two quotes is a URL, not necessarily a path to a module. It's just a URL, and ultimately the server that responds to the browser when it makes a request to that URL should respond with a JavaScript file. And so here I've added an import for D3 from the unpackaged service, and I added the query string module, which will make unpackage compile all of the module update all the module imports to use unpackaged links. So we can go ahead and just go right here really quick. So you, oh shoot, it opened in the wrong window. So let's go ahead and copy this. We'll paste it here so you can see what that's doing here. So it just is more unpackaged URLs with more modules. We can get all of D3 loaded. And let's save this. We'll refresh. And you'll see that it takes a little bit of time, and that's because D3 is quite large. And it's because we're loading all of these scripts. Now HTTP2 with server push. Now HTTP2 with server push will make this a little bit better, so we don't have to make all of those requests. The server can just keep on pushing those to us. But that's a lot of modules, and I don't expect us to be stopping our bundling anytime soon. That said, it's really cool that we can just point to a URL and the browser will just go and request it, and the browser will just go in and, but I think this illustrates the point that what you put between these two quotes is a URL that resolves to some module that's served by some server. In review, what we did to make this work is we have an index HTML that has a script of type module. And if you do inline JavaScript, then that script And if you do inline JavaScript, then that JavaScript will be evaluated as a module, and therefore it can use modules. We can also have a script module that has a source attribute, and that points to a JavaScript file, which will itself be treated as a script, meaning that it can also use modules. And it can use dynamic imports as well. Okay, I think that's good. Might be a little bit long, but that's okay. So now's the time that we, well, first off, this is like way small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this back, and this might kind of mess things up a little bit, but actually, you know what? I'm not going to change anything. Because if I decide, hey, I need to just re-record that like 2 seconds of video or whatever, I want to have everything set where it was when I left it. So we're going to stick with this screen size, even though I don't like it. And actually, before I start editing, I'm just going to check out any questions people have. So, hey friends. Yago, this lesson, hopefully you know what the lesson is about by now. I'm a goat. Oh, just kidding. Thanks, Tony. Okay, I've been trying to use a chord flag. I used to do live streams like Coding Garden with CJ. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Yeah. Import in the browser has been a thing for at least a year, maybe longer. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And this is why I wrote the blog post, to so people hear about that, because I think it's awesome. Don't actually write a script you can follow to explain. Nope, I don't. I typically will have like the end result at least. In this case, I had a blog post that I just barely written. But yeah, that's typically how I go about recording. And if I mess up what I'm saying, then I just stop, like you saw. I'll think about it for a little bit, and then I'll start up again. And you'll watch me piece this together here in just a second. Watching from bed. Oh, okay. Wait, I think I skipped over some questions. Oh, yeah, got it. Yay. Thanks. That's nice of you. I like testing JavaScript too. It's a pretty good thing. Poured my heart and soul into that. Okay. When you build a course on React.js app, yeah. So good thinking. I am in the process of creating a testingjavascript.com like thing for React. It's going to be huge. It's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. Here's what browser support for this. What is the yeah, actually, in my blog post, I talk about that. Let's see if I can find that. There's well, I don't talk about it. I link to something that shows that. What just happened? Yeah, here we go. That's it. Here, I'll just paste you the link. That'll be much easier. Okay, cool. Sweet. So you ready for me to start editing this thing? Let's do it. Yeah, get rid of this. Okay. So first thing that I need to do is I come here and I switch to mono. I don't need stereo, just do mono. And I smooth volume levels so that it's normalized. Normally it increases it. And maybe I could like turn up my volume a little bit, but I think it's okay. And normally when I'm looking through this, there's a lot longer pauses, and I know exactly where I stopped for a second to think about things, but I was talking to you all, so this is going to be a little trickier. You'll notice this is 18 minutes long. I did take a little phone call in there, but actually I think that was probably then. It's going to be a bit of a longer video, and this edit is going to take probably longer than 18 minutes, which may be more time than I have, so we'll just see. Yeah, you may just have to watch some of this, but not all of it. But you will be able to watch the video later, which is fun. Okay, so we're going to come in here And I know all that is garbage, so we'll just get rid of that. And I hit the forward key to kind of fast forward through areas that I know that I didn't make any mistakes and stuff. And I kind of listen for it, but yeah, I know I didn't make any mistakes here. So I watch it and I listen. Okay, and sometimes when I take little breaks like this, it's kind of a good area for me to tighten things up a little bit. So I stop and I listen. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. Okay, so I remember I had to swallow. I'm just gonna knock that out. I don't want to waste your time. I know that like if 2,000 people watch this and I waste a half a second, that's 500 seconds that I wasted. No, that's 1,000 seconds I wasted because there's 2,000 people. So yeah, I don't want to waste your time. So in here, I just didn't think about it, but these are, I'm part of a writing critique group. And this Saturday, we're going to go review our submissions. And so that's what these things are right here. The temp directory, I can't remember what's in there. I probably just need to delete it. But yeah, so I've got those sitting there. No big deal. I don't really care that much. But normally, if I were making this like a course or something, this is just like a video for my blog. But if I were making this a course, I might have stopped there, moved those files out of the way, and then continued on. But when I noticed that, I was just like, okay, that's too bad, but whatever. NLP. Oh, that would be interesting. Xdata is pretty cool. I feel like in 2020, this should just be a feature. Oh, what feature? Oh, the NLP. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay. And I believe NLP is natural language processing, so that we could actually like see the words that I'm saying. That would be cool. Okay, so I paused there, and it may have been too long. That's fine. Okay, and I remember I struggled with this a little bit. So now I gotta find. I'm just gonna cut there. I gotta find where a good one was. I think that was the one. Cut that, and we'll come in here and just tighten that up a little bit. Yeah, okay, and it was. Okay, and sometimes my words like run together, and so I can't clip it so that it'll just start up with this. And actually, you all can't hear this, can you? Which is too bad. I need to figure out a good way to stream my computer audio if I'm going to do this very much, but I don't think that I am going to do this very much. So sorry. Maybe I'll turn this up. Maybe you can sort of hear it. Script rather than a module, and there are various ways that, and there are various differences between scripts and modules. Okay, so in both of those I said, and there are various, but on this first one I say it kind of run together with the words I say previous, so I can't cut that very cleanly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, in both of those cases I say, and there are various, and so I'll let the first clip have the and there are various, and the second clip have the rest of the correct words I use. So right there is various. Right there. And I'll bump that up for you so you can hear. Rather than a module. And there are various differences. Okay, so that I kind of stumbled over that in the re-record of that part. So I actually, I think I can get rid of that stumble entirely. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Listen to this. A module, and there are various differences between. Yeah, it sounds great. No more stumble. Very good. I would leave it just like super loud, except I have family in this house, and they're like, what is this? So, sorry, I'm not going to just leave it super loud. Maybe I should figure out how to stream my audio, but I don't really do that very much, so I don't know. And I know that it's possible. I know exactly where I'd go to look. So if I wanted to do it, I know where I'd go to make it happen. You can feel free to recommend it, but I just know somebody's going to be like, oh, this is how you do it. You're so friendly. Thank you. But I don't think I want to do it. Seems like making a course is hard. Yeah, yeah, it is. With testing JavaScript, I actually didn't edit those videos. Egghead hired somebody to edit those. I have mixed feelings about that because the editor isn't a developer, and so I had to be really careful when I was reviewing them to make sure they didn't like leave me saying the same thing twice and stuff like that. I can definitely make the video be exactly what I want it to be when I'm editing, so I do typically prefer to edit myself, even though it takes a lot more time and effort and stuff, which it's hard to come by. Okay, so we got so to indicate to the browser. So to indicate to the browser, boom. Okay, and you notice we got a problem with the video right here. You'll see the clip. Boom, right there. So this is unfortunate. I'm just gonna move this over and we'll just see what that does. Here, we'll just make it pop over here when I say this text and we'll see how bad that looks. That looks okay. People will probably ask me, how did you do that? That was magic. I'll just be like, well, I don't know. Here, hold on a second. Let's find if there's an area of the video where I actually do move my cursor. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, so let's just do this. We'll cut that, move this over. Boom, that looks so much better. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. Boom, that looks good. Okay, and I remember this is where I had a bit of trouble. Okay, so then right here, get rid of all that. And this is how you take 18 minutes down to like 4. You have giant things like that. Yeah, so testing JavaScript course, I made all the content, Egghead made the platform. That's how that works. And I'm gonna move this right here. Right there. See what that looks like. Yeah, that looks great. Oh man. Okay, that first phrase wasn't good, but I like the video. Well, I like some of the video. So we're gonna get rid of that. And let's see. We'll move that over here. We'll move these over there. And we'll just keep those together. It doesn't matter too much on the audio, but actually the last video I made, I accidentally had a little gap right here. And so there was a little spot that went like, it's black. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I had to redo that one. Okay. This bothers me so much that Serve does this. They have this like update available. I don't care. And yeah. And the only reason that's happening is because I have Serve installed globally on my machine. Otherwise, it would just like go to npm and install it and run it with npx. But yeah, I should probably just update it. Okay, and we've got some pauses in here. It's wild to me that I'm able to live stream this and edit at the same time. Normally this is just eating my resources so bad, but it's like this is such a monster of a machine. I'm actually gonna, depending on if I can finish this in time, I'm interested to find out if I can export this while live streaming. That would be wild. Yeah, so Egghead and I share Egghead takes a slice of testing JavaScript. Yeah. Yeah, just one second. I'm gonna grab my chair because I'm getting tired of standing. All right, here we are. Ah, my legs. Thank myself. Okay. We'll tighten that up a little bit. That we want to tighten even more. Okay, the video might need some cleaning up here. Actually, sweet. I have a green scroll bar. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, a green screen. Yeah. Oh, it's not. I wouldn't call it a scroll bar. It's like a projector screen. Yeah, it's great. I'll show you my whole setup later. It's phenomenal. I've worked really hard to make this setup so that it's not terrible for doing live streams like this. See, this is what I told you. Everybody last year was like, yeah, I'm gonna do live streams more eventually, and then I just invested in making my office perfect for live streaming, and it's great. I'm really happy with it. I mean, look, I'm looking at it and like, I look good. I mean, I don't mean that in like a vain way. I mean like the quality is good. It looks great. With this chair, yeah, even like the chair, you can't really tell that there's green behind that, which is wild. So anyway, pretty happy with this. You can't tell that there's green when I do this though, so that's unfortunate. Said the same thing a couple times. And you'll notice actually right here, I've got my mouse jumps. Goes boom, 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 boom. It doesn't matter that much to me, but because I'm not using my mouse at all right here, I'm just gonna move this over so that it doesn't jump and I don't need to worry about. Oh, and I said the same thing again. So we'll just move this again. Be okay? Oh, nice. Again, I've got to find, just make sure. Okay, there we go. This is the one that works. And actually only need this to go this far. That way the mouse doesn't move around in a weird way. Yeah, okay. Right here is where we're going. Okay, so you'll notice in the video my cursor disappears. I don't care that much. That's fine. Actually, you know what I could do is right here, have it cut right there. And that makes it more natural because my cursor disappears right at the same moment that I start selecting some text. And that's a natural time for that to happen. So that'll work out nicely. So got a question, why don't I build a platform myself? I'm a programmer. Yeah. So I could absolutely build it myself. It's non-trivial, but I have enough runway where I could take a couple months off and build my own platform. The reason I don't is because if I want to build something, I want to build like whatever I want. I don't want to build a platform. And I want to focus on creating content, which is what I'm really good at. And well, I'm pretty good at building stuff too. I maintain open source libraries for that, I guess. But and I do plan on building something in the future, like a product or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to focus my time and energy on creating the content and let Egghead manage, support and responding to emails and yeah, all that stuff. And they do tons of stuff for me. So they also help me with my website. Well, they don't do a whole lot of that now, but they help me with my podcast. And they also manage my remote workshops and my like remote workshops for enterprise as well as like public ticketed ones. So I have a really great relationship with Egghead, and they manage all the stuff that I don't want to do. So I'm able to create more content for you. Nice. I forgot about this. Yeah, those two don't really line up too nicely, so I'll just do this. Kind of awkward. So listen to this. Here, and we'll change its language to JavaScript. So I'm going to import. So it doesn't really go together super well. It's like, and we'll change this language to JavaScript. So I'm going to import that. It would sound better if it was, and change this language to JavaScript. And then we're going to import, but I can't make that sound nice. And I could probably record it right now. But when you record it outside of context, you can almost always tell. Like, have you ever listened to an audiobook where you're like, oh, yep, they recorded that later. That was an edit that was later on or something. Yeah, so I don't like doing that, and I'm not super bothered by this, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't think it's too... Oh, and looks like I got it wrong the first time anyway. Unfortunately, that was a tiny bit worse. Is Egghead run by 2 or 3 people or 10 or more? I actually don't know how many employees they have. Definitely more than 2 or 3. Probably upwards of 10. And I know they have a lot of contractors and stuff too. Who do... I don't think they have any contractors who do development, but they have people who manage other stuff. I'm not sure. Little break right there. Break right there. We can just tighten that up. Yes. Yeah. Dang it. Now 13 minutes. We've chopped off 5 minutes. Dang it. See that? Okay, so what we need to do is right here is the first frame that we can show for this one. And we need to get to that frame for this one. Okay. We can chop that out. Bring these together. Oops. Move that over. Move this over a little bit and that one. Boom. That looked nice. I mean, it's not perfect. The mouse jumps just a tiny bit, but there's several other things happening on the screen at the same time, so I don't think it's too confusing. Is editing the worst part? Maybe for you to just watch me edit, that's probably not super exciting. And I'm not super, like, I don't love editing either. I mean, when I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a video editor. And you can, like, dig through my past, look for Kent Dodds Productions. You'll find some fun stuff that I made when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not super into video editing. It's kind of a chore, but if I hand it off to anybody, it inevitably ends up not being what I want it to be. So that's why I do it myself as often as I can. When I go to, when will you come to Front End Masters this year and for what workshops? I am going to Front End Masters, and I believe that you can find it. I need to get a browser window over here. I think it should be on the Front End Masters, frontendmasters.com. Oh, hey there. I hope there wasn't anything important on there. Courses, workshops. They have upcoming workshops. Maybe you need to log in. I'm gonna just move this over just in case. Autofill. Man, sometimes that doesn't work and I don't know why. We'll copy that. And then we've got and boom. Oh, I need to update that password. Be like legit. Bookmarked courses, watch courses, all courses, workshops. Here we go. Sent. There I am. So if you log in, then you should find Advanced React Patterns v2 and Testing React Applications v2. So they're going to be great. You're going to love them. Okay, cool. So moving right along. Yeah, that's coming March. I didn't say that, but yeah, coming in March. Oh, that's right. And it's working just fine. Okay, bring those all out. That, get rid of this, that, and that. Let's see how bad it jumps. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So you notice the cursor jumps right there. Well, watch this. So we're going to move the cursor here, right there. Boom. Okay. So right when it moves like that is when I'm going to do the cut, so that that movement looks like it was just part of the movement of my mouse. Boom. Nobody will be able to tell. That's great. What is up, Jason? How are you? Yeah. Here's my process. Awesome to see you, dude. What do you think of the live stream, by the way? Camera looks good, right? Huh? Yeah, I envy you and your amazing live streams. I look up to you for those. And yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, cool. I might have to leave in a second. I gotta double check we don't have something going on tonight. Oh, interesting. We move things around. Okay. I liked what the cursor did there, so yeah, I like what the cursor's doing here. Okay, so I just gotta fix this. So right here, move this over here. Right here I type .js, and I want to actually do that later on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna freeze frame here, and I'm gonna put that typing right here. We're gonna put the freeze frame, extend that, all that, and this, my friends, is why you'll notice my cursor does not blink, so I can do what I'm doing right now. Freeze frame, but you can't tell that it's freeze framed because because I don't have my cursor blinking. Got some more chats. Yeah, audio's not playing. I'm not going to be doing doing live streams where I want my audio to play very often, so I'm not going to bother. Sorry, I know it's not all that great, but I know. So it's, if you want to drop off, and I'm talking to everybody while I do this edit, I don't blame you, because it's probably not very fun to just watch me and not be able to hear what I'm doing. Oh, sorry. Trying to create a React Native app for my dissertation. What? Congratulations. Lack the experience in testing. Oh no. And I know that you have a course, but not sure I have enough time to complete it. Any advice and tips? Thanks. Well, so I guess it's what are your goals and what is your timeline? So one thing that I really pride myself in with testingjavascript.com is I don't waste your time. I fill you with a ton of valuable content really quickly. There may be people who are watching right now who are license holders to testingjavascript.com, and they can tell you that it's like very, very packed full of stuff. So you won't be just sitting around watching stuff the whole time. The part that will be tricky with your time is like your brain takes some time to learn stuff. Doesn't matter how long it takes to consume it with regard to like how long it takes your brain to process it. So yeah, I don't know how much time you have, but you could at least take the first couple modules and you'll learn a ton about the fundamentals of testing, and that could probably help you a lot. And I'll also mention that I don't have, hey there, Justin. I don't actually have content in testingjavascript.com that is about React Native, but I've never done any React Native, so I can't really tell you for sure. But many people have told me that they learned about React Testing Library and taken my course and everything, and then those concepts applied really well to native. So take that for what it's worth. Good luck. Okay, so at this. Get rid of all that garbage. And check this, from 12 minutes down to 11 minutes. Cut out a minute. And let me double check that clip. You'll notice there's one thing that happens here, and unsaved, saved. But that's fine because that is what it would look like if I hit Command S. So people will just assume I saved it. Yeah. And I'll just go straight from here. There, that should work. Oh, and well, sure, this will be fine. Oh, another thing that I'm still working on is I don't have any of my acoustic foam up yet, so the sound quality will go up for both my videos and for live streams. So look forward to that. That's gonna be great. I just noticed that this sounds like I'm in in a room without foam. So okay, so sometimes when I see myself make little typos like that, I added a space and then I removed it. I'll clean that up. So what I'm gonna do is I'll cut right here, or actually we'll cut right here to here. And then I'm gonna go in here and I'll find all those places where I mess up and clip out those mess ups. Because they're sort of distracting. They're not really distracting. Maybe this is my own vanity. I don't want to show my weakness that I don't always type exactly the right thing. Just kidding. I don't know. I just want it to be, oh, whoops. I accidentally clipped the audio there and I didn't want to do that. Okay, and that's fine. So we're gonna go. We'll move this over here, move that over here. We'll clip out to get these two side by side, or so that they're lined up. Just get rid of the dead space in the audio. Here, what we'll do is I'll move this over and we'll slow this one down. Seems like a lot of work just to take out a couple typos, doesn't it? Yeah, probably didn't need to worry about it. And there was another typo. Got to get things to line up a little bit. Sometimes it just lines up perfectly. I need to trim that up a little bit. Okay, let me take a look at what I've got. Yeah, I've still got quite a bit. I'm not going to finish this, so let me just save this. We've got or ES modules in browser. And just for funsies, I want to see what my laptop does when I try to export and live stream at the same. So export. And we'll take a look at this thing. We've got memory is 64. Feels hot. I have 64 gigabytes. I think I just got a text from my wife. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm gonna need to go. But this is amazing. I can't believe this. This is so much better than what I had before. Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, before anybody asks, this is called Run Cat, and it's great. Jason, I am maybe being a little overly meticulous. I don't know. One take with no edit is pretty awesome. I could never do that. Okay, cool. Gonna close this. I'm gonna say goodbye. That was fun. Thanks everybody, and hope you have a wonderful day and evening. And peace out. Thanks for hanging out with me. See ya.